Okay, so this is the update after 16 full days from my injury, and that's the Achilles tendon rupture, full rupture, and um, so 16 days is the beginning of the week 3. And yeah, so a lot of things happen. So um, I got a DVT, so my cast was placed very poorly, um, too tight. I was not prescribed blood thinners. I can actually kill a person, right? So um, yeah, um, I had a DVT which was above knee, a little bit above knee, on the other side of the knee. It was a blood clot, which, which is actually very dangerous. The ones which are above knee can actually detach and go to the lungs and cause pulmonary embolism, or PE, um, which could be deadly, right? So fatal, right? So what happened is that blood clot dissolved. I was on low molecular weight heparin. That one dissolved, but on the previous ultrasound, they did not find that I have a DVT, a blood clot below knee, which is actually which they found on the latest ultrasound, which they did 2 days ago. So maybe they missed it in the when initial DVT was diagnosed, or maybe developed in the meantime, right? Anyway, um, it's good that one blood clot is gone. The other one below knee is not that dangerous, so it is actually um, going to is attached to the wall of the blood vessel, meaning that it will degrade in time. But not the problem is so uh, I have this DVT and I have to put my leg in a cast. I definitely cannot do surgery because of the DVT. The doctor said that's not possible. I don't want to do a surgery. I want to do a non-op route. So anyway, surgery is uh, out of the question, right? So what I can do is non-op, and for that I need to be in the boot. And since I have a DVT and also the blood flow is reduced anyway because you're not moving your muscle, and muscle will actually by contracting will direct the blood flow back to the heart from blood which is in the veins, right? So that muscle actually is not working. So by default, your leg is gonna be swollen. But with my DVT below knee, it's even more swollen. So when I put my leg in the boot, it gets really swollen. So I have to get into the boot, but I have to be very careful. So be in the boot some period of time, and then remove it. Do some exercises. Move your toes like this. Move your foot like this. Don't go past 90 degrees. So always keep your foot in a plantar flex uh, position. So that I did. That's all good, right? So now I found the balance. I can actually walk and do some partial weight bearing, which is good for the recovery, as this force um, will actually model the tissue, right, and the new tendon from the scar tissue, right, from the wound tissue. But what I want to mention now is that I had an incident, right? So I left. I took my boot off and I was in the bed. I lifted my leg up to reduce the swelling, and you have like reflexes when your muscle just contract when you're like sleeping, just suddenly all of your body will contract. This actually happened. My muscle contracted, my calf contracted, and I felt pain in my tendon, right, because I tried to pull the tendon. So it hurt a little bit, maybe 2-3 minutes, and it went away. Hopefully, nothing happened. I didn't re-rupture, but I cannot re-rupture it 2.5 weeks period because tendon's not there, right? But hopefully, it didn't dissociate. The two ends didn't dissociate even further, right? So they hopefully stayed in the same spot. The doctor said it's highly unlikely it will move because it's a very thick, like a finger. It's a very thick tendon, or the thickest one in the body. So, yeah, be careful because this I didn't do anything. I didn't step on my foot. I didn't put my foot in a 90-degree angle, neutral. I was just lying down, and suddenly a reflex happened, which you cannot control, right? So it's autonomous, right? So be careful, wear the boot as much as you can. And yeah, I have it here now with me all the time. So yeah, it's a simple aircast boot with wedges, which I will be removing later on. Some protocols say this happens from week 6 to week 9. You remove wedge every week. So that you will gradually put the length of your tendon to a normal length. So that will be all. This is 2.5 week, and yeah, take care if you have this injury. It's a tough one. But yeah, especially if you have a DVT like I do, it's a tough one. So be careful, and yeah, if you have a DVT, first you have to resolve that issue. And once your leg, if you have above knee, because your leg is going to be swollen, you won't be able to put it in the boot. So once you resolve this issue, you can put your leg in a boot. Even if you have below knee, even if you have a below knee DVT like I do, because swelling is not that bad. It can fit into the boot. So yeah, it is tough, but it will blood clot will dissolve, and then you can focus on protocols for Achilles, right? So partial weight bearing and early range of motion, right? So I also managed to walk with one crutch. So I usually have 2 crutches. but then yeah, just one is enough, right? So it's pretty awesome because you have one hand, which is free. You can carry things. Um, yeah, that's about it. Some protocols also recommend full weight bearing from the beginning. I read a study, and it's a very good study um, from um, I forgot the university, so um, I'll link it below. So very good study, very similar outcomes, non-op and op, and uh, even non-op were better, which is interesting. But they had leg in a boot. They had full weight bearing from the beginning, and they had the leg had the boot a little bit longer. So it's not removed after 8 weeks, but it was a little bit longer than that. So yeah, take care. See you in the next update.